Of Central African time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa. Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina is expected to address the nation on Monday evening. His office announced on Facebook after officers supporting youth-led protests said they were in control of the African island's paramilitary soldiers. Yesterday, the Armed Forces Minister recognized a military-backed officer as the new army chief. Now, President Rajoelina has called the move an attempted coup. Meanwhile, South Africa has voiced deep concern over the unrest and is urging all parties to remain calm and respect Madagascar's democratic process. And for more on this, we are joined on the line by Madagascan lawyer and political analyst Toki Ramelison. Toki, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
And thank you for talking to me again.
Now, Toki, just given that CAPSAT unit played a pivotal role in the 2009 coup that brought President Andry Rajoelina into power, how does their current defection and claim of control over the armed forces reflect on the fragility of military loyalty in Madagascar's political landscape?
Yes, you have said it correctly, Lulu. In 2009, the members of the CAPSAT regiment were the key decisive factor in toppling then President Ravalomanana and putting Andry Rajoelina as transition president in 2009. On such a day, the CAPSAT did not march to the presidential palace like they did in 2009. They rather joined the protesters to march in the streets of Antananarivo to force the gendarmerie to remove the blockades and stop dispersing the crowds. So this move of the CAPSAT today in 2025 is quite different from the 2009 coup.
Now, just with the army, with the armed forces minister now recognizing General Demostheni Pikulas, a military-backed officer, as the new army chief, what are the immediate risks of a full military fracture? And how might loyalist forces respond to the split? Because it seems like history now is repeating itself.
Yes, in a sense, history is repeating itself. But as I said, this time it's a little bit different because you must remember that the Minister of Defense, who yesterday recognized General Pikulas as the new Army Chief of Staff, was appointed 3 days ago by Rajoelina himself. And I guess this time there is a real caution from the side of the armed forces not to make this become an outright coup. I think they are rather taking a step-by-step, almost negotiated approach within the armed forces, but also with the Rajoelina loyalists.
Now, the youth-led Gen Z MADA protests have escalated from demands over power and water shortages to calls for Rajoelina's resignation, now bolstered by CAPSAT support. What factors could sustain or derail this movement, especially amid reports of clashes resulting in the loss of lives and injuries?
Yes, indeed, it is very sad because at least 2 people, if not more, were shot dead on Saturday when the CAPSAT soldiers joined the protesters and the gendarmerie tried to block the protest. So there was an exchange of gunfire, but ultimately the gendarmes, loyalists to Rajoelina, withdrew. Today, the protesters can express themselves fully on the legendary, famous 13th of May Plaza in the center of Tana. What can be pivotal today is there are strong rumors that Andry Rajoelina left the country. Unconfirmed reports indicated that the private jet carrying him and his family left for Dubai. So maybe we will know more about his status and location this evening during his address to the nation.
Now, South Africa has expressed concern and has urged restraint, but how may this crisis spill over into the broader Southern Africa region, potentially affecting SADC stability or inspiring similar unrest in neighboring countries?
First of all, Lulu, when Rajoelina was declared as re-elected 2 years ago in 2023, there was a big contingent of SADC electoral observers observing the elections in Madagascar. And I personally happened to warn them, given the controversy about Rajoelina's French nationality and the legality of his candidacy. I warned the SADC mission that this might result in problems a few years down the line. Unfortunately, we are currently in the situation that I warned them about. What might be feared in the region is that the Gen Z is not a movement led by politicians. I would not go as far as saying that it is a leaderless movement, but it is difficult to talk or to reason with a movement that is not structured, does not have a hierarchy and a commandment. So that is the danger that might spread to not only to the SADC region, but to the other nations in Africa.
Now, just in wrapping up, President Rajoelina has called for dialogue while condemning the events as a coup attempt. In your view, what diplomatic or security measures could international parties facilitate in terms of a peaceful resolution while upholding Madagascar's democratic processes, and also going back to the fact that this is now history repeating itself?
Yes, this is history repeating itself in terms of people protesting in the street and the armed forces joining the people. But what can make a difference this time, Lulu, is that there is a provision in the Malagasy constitution that says if there is a vacuum of power at the top of the executive branch, meaning if the president is there, the president of the Senate, if the president is gone, the president of the Senate is gone, and the prime minister is absent, then the cabinet ministers have the possibility to exercise executive power as a collective body. So that might be the legal option today for Madagascar.
We have run out of time, but I just have to highlight the fact that you're speaking of cabinet ministers who are also acting as cabinet ministers.
That is correct. So the real challenge for Madagascar's constitutional legality today is the vacuum of power.
Well, Toki, we could go on and on, but we have to leave it there for today. Thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's Madagascan lawyer and political analyst Toki Rameluson joining us on the line. Our news headlines up next with Onelin Zinzi.